Today we are going to be backseated by the Paladin Master, HC Legend, the guy who killed CThun, KT, and everything you can imagine. He will show us best talents, best rotations, and best everything you need to know to become a top healer as a Holy Paladin in WoW Classic. Nefari, please, Professor.
First thing, we can talk about the gear, right? So in Hardcore, despite the survivability factor, you want to focus on plus healing.
Okay.
So to get a good amount here, so your build should be centered around this. And then the secondary is you can take some stamina. For example, I'm equipping a shield. Actually, by having this shield, it saved my life. I tanked Osirian. I hit from Osirian that was enraged, and I lived because of the shield. So I have some mixed gear. I mix it up. So for example, this one is Judgment right now with a high amount of stamina. But I also have the dress somewhere in the bank. I equip it for higher performance rates. But like once you reach around 800 healing, I think you're in good numbers. So you can do good healing, and then you can focus on survival at that point. You want to have one active trinket. You can have two active trinkets if you really want to press two buttons, but I think one is good enough. So you need to think about this trinket actually that you have as it's not an emergency cooldown, it's something you use all the time. So you look at the people in your raid and you think, you see they dropped a bit more than usual. Maybe it will take maybe 10 casts to get them up on the whole raid. Then you pop the trinket. This is how you maximize your HPS. Trinket is very important because it gives you 408 healing. That is crazy amount of healing. That is like almost 50%
Can you pop
more.
it just to show the big number?
Yeah. So like, I'm gonna heal myself. I'll show you 764, 750. When we pop the trinket, it goes up to 970, 950.
Yeah.
Of course, on every cast it's diminishing, as it says, but there are some trinkets that don't. So an active trinket is very important when your team is down. When people take a lot of damage, you want to pop the trinket and start healing. And it's only 2 minutes cooldown, so you can do it every 2 minutes. So item-wise, I mean, you want to get some crit, because crit equals free cast, because you have this talent, right, over here, Illumination. Makes every crit a free cast. So you stack less mana regen and you focus on crit if you can, but you still prioritize spell healing. I would say, according to the research on Classic, there's been 1% crit is approximately equal to 18 healing. So if you have an item that has 1% crit, healing-wise, it's around 18 healing if you disregard the mana return chance.
Okay, I never used that.
So, yeah, can be interesting. So let's see. I mean, you equip a shield for defense, but when you start off, it's good to go with an offhand with plus healing, just to keep your team up in the game. The talents, I mean, it's quite standard talent build. I don't have Judgment because we have other paladins applying this judgments, but you can have it. Your Divine Intellect, Spiritual Focus, Healing Light, Improve Lay on Hands, very important. You will be asked to pre-cast Lay on Hands on your tanks before big bosses, and it gives them huge armor bonus. And then Lane Fate, Illumination, most important talent is in Paladin tree. Improve Blessings, Divine Favor, Holy Power for 5% crit chance, and Holy Shock, because it's in the instant heal that we have. In the Retribution tree, you want to take the Improved Might, so you can be versatile in raid buffs. In Protection, take Improved Devotion Aura, because you're going to be put in the tank group, and you want to give him more armor. That's our armor it gives is quite substantial, actually. You look, 54% damage reduction if I turn it off. Maybe you turn yours off, so you have it. Yeah, then you can see it's 50. So this is effectively 4% damage reduction, physical, just by turning it on. Then you have Guardian's Favor, Toughness. This one is to have to be able to bop every 3 minutes, very convenient. because you bop in hardcore to save people's lives. Toughness, get some extra armor. Of course, Blessing of Kings and Anticipation is optional. Defense skill doesn't do much in Classic, but alternatively you take Trust in Judgment, take one more out of Toughness and invest it in 3 points here.
Okay, what are your thoughts like about having plus 3 hit in protection?
So if you really like, there is no reason except for generating mana with the Seal of Wisdom, right? You don't really care about hitting. Your role is not dealing damage in the raid. Your role is keeping the people up.
No,
So
I mean just for applying like
health.
judgment and like regular questing outside of the raid.
Well, judgment applyment, it's a spell, right?
No,
it's not
I mean like
by
the hit by the like renewals.
But if you want to quest, I mean to renew it, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. So you actually won't be doing this very often in raids. You're standing still and you're pretty much spamming your heals. You apply judgment. That's why you have this talent over here to increase the duration, right, by 10 seconds. So it's 30 seconds more with 3 of them. So it's going to be very long. So you apply it once and then you ignore it. You don't even hit the bird. It's very rare in hardcore where you need to hit because all boss fights, they last like 1-2 minutes regularly. Some bosses are longer, but on average it's 1-2 minutes. You apply judgment on lights so that your teammates can heal, and you just spam. You don't care about anything else. Or apply wisdom and keep healing. So you're not gonna be doing anything.
And about like questing, so you're not like respecting.
I mean, if you want to quest, you can do a mixed spec, but that's not a raiding spec, right? Then you take away from toughness maybe and put it in precision. Less survivability with hit chance and hybrid build. You can totally do this. Let's look at the healing. So how you heal? You have an assigned tank, for example. Let's say you've been assigned a tank and he's on the left side. But imagine there is a raid to the right.
Mm-hmm.
So what you do is, there is a rule in Warcraft for all casters called ABC, always be casting. Means you always need to do something. You either cast heals, or you reposition, or you cast. You don't just stand and observe, unless it's like a raid mechanic. For example, you're targeted in ZG by the Mandokir, then of course you don't cast. But otherwise, you can cast rank 4 heals. This is the most mana efficient heal. It's like good value, let's say. The most mana efficient would be Holy Light, but you will never get the full value of it. The reason is 2.5 second cast. You see somebody low, everybody's going to spam these quick heals at them. All the priests and the druids, they have 1.5 second cast heals. So if you try to cast this, by the time this finishes, nobody will get healed. The person will be full HP, most likely. And if they are really, really low, let's say, and you think you can get full value out of this, it's still not worth it because you better kill them a little bit to top them up. So maybe if they get hit by something else, they survive. And while you're casting this big heal, I mean, they can die in 2.5 seconds. This 1 second difference can make a difference between life and death of your ally. So typically, unless you're in a dungeon and you have a controlled environment, let's say your tank is tanking the Emperor in the BRD that claps, right? Maybe this is not enough. Then you start spamming the holy lights of your tank and in the dungeon and slowly heal them up to max. But you see how much mana this thing is eating. Crazy. Mm-hmm. You're gonna be owned. So basically, in a raid scenario, what you do, you cast rank 4, like if your tank is actively tanking a boss and the boss hits him hard, you just cast Flash of Lights. And you cast them and bam. If you see your tank is full HP, you don't need to keep casting this. Instead, you heal your raid. So you heal the raid, then you see the tank getting attacked, you cast on the tank until he's full. And you see he's full, you switch to the raid. Me is raid in this case. You cast, then you see the tank gets hit, you cast it on the tank again. So I typically keep tank in my target, so I don't need to target him. I can just automatically switch. So when I'm not clicking here, it automatically casts on the tank. And I can see the tank is in range of me, so I need to keep track of my tank. So there are two things in as a paladin raid. You need to follow your assigned tank, to always be near him to heal him or lay on hands if he drops really low because of some emergency. And you need to be not like next to him because you can get clapped by mob mechanic, but like close by. I would say the good distance is where you can cast Holy Shock. So like maybe 15 yards. Like this distance is ideal because you can react with Holy Shock and you're far away from most of the mob's abilities that affect. For example, in BVL, Blackwing Glare, there are these big mobs with glaives that spin, and they get like a ranged stun that affects like 10 yards around them. So you don't get hit by this ability if you stand here. Stand here, you do get hit. So you need to keep your distance, but not be too far, but also not too close, and in a range of Holy Shock. So what happens? So you heal your tank, for example, right? And then you see he gets like a big hit. Let's say it's a breath, dragon breath, and he gets hit for half HP. What you do is Divine Favor into Holy Shock. Get them up quickly. This is your alternative to Lay on Hands. Lay on Hands is a long cooldown. It's an emergency thing. They are like almost dying, and you need to heal them up. That's Lay on Hands. Otherwise, it's Divine Favor into Holy Shock, or just Holy Shock. Divine Favor is on cooldown. This is what you have to do. It's not only on tank. If you're standing here and your ally next to you also gets hit, you can also select them on the frames. You can see the proximity. Select them and Holy Shock. Heal them up, and then keep healing the tank, of course. So
can you show your heal bot?
You can use different add-ons. There is a mouse over add-on where you can mouse over it, and when you click the button, it will kill the target that you're mousing over. That's a mouse over setup. I have a click setup. For me, it's I prefer this one. So on the left click, I just target. So on the middle, I cleanse. So this is for quick cleanses. You can middle click and cleanse somebody instantly. And also, like you can click escape to stop casting, but you can also move. So, for example, you're casting on your tank, and then you see something needs cleansing. So you can just click W to move quickly forward or backwards, just slightly, and then start dispelling the people. And then you keep casting on the tank. So again, I have right click on Flash of Light rank 6, and then shift is soft Flash of Light rank 4 to top somebody up who is just lost a little bit of HP. So you don't want to spend too much mana. I think on control, no, it was an attempt. I don't have anything on control. So actually, you don't have that many spells that you cast here. Either cast rank 6, you cast Cleanse, or you cast rank 4. That's all the spells you cast. And of course, the Holy Shock is manual. So I click on the person manually, and I click Holy Shock. Because sometimes you need to run up to them if they're a bit too far. Like, for example, I want to Holy Shock somebody here. And I click on them and I see it's not working, so I run up to them and click Holy Shock. Yeah. But also important to mention that Divine Favor 2-minute cooldown, it's not an emergency cooldown. It's something you use all the time throughout the raid. So use it when you see somebody like maybe 60% HP. You can do Divine Favor into Flash of Light into Holy Shock, top them up. Or you can do different combination. You can do Flash of Light into Divine Favor, Holy Shock. But you need to use it on cooldown. Top up your healing. And this is also called a sniper cast, because you can snipe somebody's heal. So as with Holy Shock, if you see the tank take damage, and let's say in a scenario where everybody is healing him, you can time it, your heal well, and you can snipe the heal the moment he gets damaged. You can see, for example, the tank is getting damaged now, you click to get it up. It's a small thing. It's not necessary, but it's something people do. So you need to be aware that if your heal parses are low, maybe it's because the druids are doing their thing. The priest can also do the shield, right? Mitigate some damage and counts as healing, as well as paladins just cast Holy Shock and out heal you. on fights that are not healing intensive.
Okay, let's jump over my settings and then we'll see the recording from the last week's raid. I have Flash of Light on left click, rank 6. On middle I have Lay on Hands. On the right I have Holy Light max rank. On alt I have down rank Holy Light. On left I have Flash of Light rank 4. On control I have Cleanse. And on the right control I have Blessing on Freedom. On shift I have Holy Shock. And on the right I have Blessing of Protection. I'm using the basic, like for the 5-man I'm using the adaptive, and for the big raids I'm using like basic stuff where you can monitor aggro and see if the people like out of energy or mana or whatever they need.
But yeah, that sounds like too many on your heal bot, really. You want to keep it simple, and I do have freedom
it's simple.
too.
Like for example, like I'm almost like have like 0 like bindings. I have everything clicked, everything binding is there. Like for me, it's like more convenient than like your approach, like with target and stuff.
If it works for you like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
It can work. Just Holy Light, you will not find yourself casting it almost at all.
Yeah. Nope. I
But
just
Blessing
have
of Freedom
it,
is
but
good.
in any case, for example, in 5-man dungeons, you can start like the healing before the first hit. So like if your tank will not be crushing bow if he's like first 60. Just for that.
Yeah.
Use.
I use Holy Shock for that, so I precast Holy Light, Flash of Light in 5-man, and if he gets hit more than the Flash of Light heals, I Holy Shock on top of it.
Yeah.
And I cast another Flash of Light, or decide if he's I don't know, he's getting chunked, I start
Yeah,
Holy
that's
Light,
also
sure.
good approach. And now let's jump into the raids.